Hello. I am going to build my first Oathbreaker deck, maybe two. I'm looking for a tweet that I tweeted recently about a build that I'm interested in, and people were giving me some suggestions for signature spell, but that will be the second one I build. The first one I've had in mind for a while, so we'll definitely do that one first, but I am still looking for that tweet just so I can find that spell. I feel like it's coming up. I'm almost there. I don't even tweet that much, and I'm like, why is it taking so long to get there? I will find you. Maybe it's because it was maybe before MagicCon that I posted it, and there were so many MagicCon tweets kind of in between. But I'm also, like, as I'm looking back in my tweets, I'm like, it couldn't have been that long ago. But maybe I guess it was. I feel like I'll never find it. I'm gonna have to look in my texts for, like, cards I saved, I guess. Well, what is up, people? I think the first deck I'm going to build tonight is a colorless deck, because that was really my first kind of real EDH deck that I built was colorless, and it's Traxos. So Traxos is due for an update as well, so I'll probably pull up my Traxos list just to have it as a reference point. It's due for an update for sure, but I will use it for my colorless Oathbreaker. I think I am looking at building Ugin, the Ineffable, probably, and Warping Will as my signature spell. Okay, I found, I think. Oh, yeah, I think I found a good one for, my second one is Elminster, because I had been wanting to build Elminster as a commander deck, and I keep putting it off, and then I decided, you know what, maybe I'll build that as an Oathbreaker. Excuse me, my allergies as usual. So yeah, I think I will be I think I'll be looking at a couple options here. Let me just go back and make sure. See, it was May 11th that I saved those pictures, so the tweet must have been somewhere around that time too. But I can't find it. It's just gotten lost in the sauce. I'm going to look for it one more time just to make sure I'm not missing anything, any suggestions that were made before we start. Yeah, I knew it had to be after MagicCon. I really can't find it. I don't know where. Maybe it was maybe I commented on somebody else's stuff and I'm thinking it's mine, but I cannot find it for the life of me. So let's just go on. I think I have some options. So and excuse me for all my boogery glory. Alright, I have the official Oathbreaker site open. They have some starter decks here, which I'm sure are built to be pretty simple and, like, not necessarily super competitive, maybe. But they have Anissa, Jace, Gideon, and Chandra. I started with Gideon, so it's, if you hover, you can see the card, which is a nice feature. So it's Gideon, Champion of Justice, with Gideon's Triumph as the signature spell. I'm opening these decks just to get an idea of, like, how many lands and spells are in each. So in Gideon, there's 21 creatures, 20 lands, considerable amount of non-basics. Enchantment, 7 enchantments, 5 artifacts that include ramp, life gain, card draw, like color devotion, life gain. There's 2 planeswalkers, a sorcery, and 4 instants. Aside from the instant in the command zone. Nissa's deck is a little bit more sorcery heavy. There's 17 creatures, 11 sorceries, 24 lands, 3 enchantments, 4 instants, and 1 planeswalker. Jace's is kind of similar to Gideon's, a little bit more instants and sorceries, less creatures. And Chandra's is pretty creature heavy and pretty planeswalker heavy. So we're looking at 23 lands, 22 lands, 24 lands, and 20 lands. So depending on my mana curve is how many lands I will need. But let's start. I'm gonna sign in. And I need to open my Traxos deck as well. It is due for an update for sure. There are so many cards that I love that like now belong in here, you know? So Warping Whale exiles a target creature with power or toughness 1 or less, counters a target sorcery spell, or puts a 1/1 Eldrazi onto the battlefield. Titan's Presence maybe is the one I wanted to use. Exile target creature if its power is less than or equal to the revealed card's power. I don't know. I guess not of this world. All is Dust is common, but it's a doozy. I could probably maybe use that in my next one too. Oh, I don't know now. What do I want to put in the command zone of it? Yeah, I like Ugin the Ineffable. Because it's a cost reducer in and of itself. I just don't know. Gosh, I'm really struggling. All right, I'm gonna create a new one. Let's see. Let's see. I don't know what I want my signature spell to be. Hey, what's up? How are you? Welcome in, Colin. I'm struggling with my signature spell. What's up, Vin? Welcome in. Yeah, I'm building Ugin as an Oathbreaker. And I'm looking at my Traxos list for reference, and these are the colorless spells that I really have to choose from. There are some folks, when I posted on Twitter, that say they use All Is Dust in the command zone. It is a great removal piece. And Ugin himself is a cost reducer, so it makes All Is Dust 2 less. I know that it would make people potentially hang on to their counter spells to see something like that in the command zone. Like, it feels too obvious to put it in the command zone. It'll just drive up the cost of it every time. Telekin, welcome in. Mascot exhibition makes some good blockers. Spatial contortion is also some good removal. Alright, I'm gonna take a look. Mascot exhibition. Ooh. Where's my cursor? There it is. Create a 2/1 white and black inkling, a 3/2 red and white spirit, and a 4/4 blue. Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, it creates 3 things. Yeah, I have found the same Vin is the cheap signature, which I was going to use Warping Whale, but I don't know that I have a good value using it. I'll tell you why in a second. Let me just go back. What was that other suggestion? Spatial contortion. Contortion. Okay. Target creature gets +3, -3. Yeah, that's pretty good too. I'm gonna just add this to Traxos himself just because I think it will be valuable here as well. But what I was looking at to add, I was looking initially at Warping Whale, which is exile target creature with power or toughness 1 or less. Counter target sorcery spell, or put a 1/1 colorless Eldrazi creature onto the battlefield, and you can sack it to add mana to your mana pool. Titan's Presence. Reveal a colorless creature card from your hand. Exile target creature if its power is less than or equal to the revealed card's power. So if I have like high power stuff in my hand, this could be like a pretty easy removal piece, but it's only removing like 1 thing. And so the first time it will cost me 1 to cast because Ugin will reduce it by 2. And then the second time will be 3 to cast. And then the 4th time will be 5, so, and so on and so on. So it's good that Ugin reduces the cost initially immediately, but I don't know that I'll get a lot of value because it only removes 1 piece at a time. Spatial contortion is good depending on the creatures that I end up putting in, and I haven't thought of that yet. I haven't decided what kind of deck I want this to be. Like, my Traxos deck is Voltron, and I don't really have a lot of creatures in there that make it that attack other than Traxos. They're there for a purpose as opposed to attacking. So maybe I want to take the Oathbreaker deck in like an Eldrazi route. Let me go back into the chat because I'm seeing some comments that... what about the one that gives 2+1 counters and vigilance? Are you using Ballista or Hangerback? I will probably use Ballista. Yeah. CPM, why not play Oathbreaker? I've never played Oathbreaker. I have never once played. This is my first build. I've never even seen a game of Oathbreaker played. I'm like completely new to it. Skittering Invasion, let me check. Well, yeah, it puts 5 O1s onto the battlefield that add mana, but I would rather have creatures that attack. And something smaller in the command zone. So maybe Titan's Presence. I guess I could always change it. It was initially going to be Warping Whale. But maybe I'll do Titan's Presence for now, and then I can always change it later. But at least I'm not just stuck on square one. And I can get the ball rolling. Okay. So let's look at the lands that I used in Draxos. I kind of like the Endless Sands shenanigans, though it takes a little while, and Oathbreaker's kind of too fast for that. I like all these lands. I definitely want a war room. I don't know what's legal in this or not, so I'm gonna just start adding, and if it doesn't let me, then I'll find out. I'm gonna add a war room, a Vesuva, Urza Saga for sure. Temple. Everybody hates Temple, but I don't. Urza Saga. Temple of the False God. I like Seagate Wreckage. Alright, Seagate Wreckage, Sanctum of Ugin. Tron was my first style of deck. I mean, my Traxos deck is a Voltron. So it was my pet deck for a long time. I played this deck for months before I got into like other deck building. So this is like very much my first deck that I chose to build after learning how to play. I built, my favorite animal is a narwhal, so I built a mono blue fish deck where every single card has to either like be aquatic themed or an aquatic animal or aquatic art. So like there's like not even a soul ring in it because it just like is on theme, just so I could put the card narwhal in it. But it's really janky and I didn't really know what I was doing. I just built it with like things I had on hand and like just to make it like fun. So it plays well like at kind of like a pre-con level, but I didn't really know what I was doing at the time, and Traxos is really my first deck that I built where, like, I kind of had a better idea of gameplay. But it's due for an upgrade. I haven't touched it in a year. I'll get to those in a second. I do like a Rogue's Passage, Reliquary Tower, Radiant Fountain. Alright. Rogue's Passage, Reliquary Tower, Radiant Fountain. I put Homeward Path and everything. I know I'll get to it, but... And I'll narrow down because I don't need quite as many lands as I have in here. Inventor's Fair for sure. Whoops. Okay. Glimmer Post. Cloud Post. Blink Moth Nexus. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be playing Locust. Why would I want these? I guess because, like... like, I guess they count each other, but they rely on each other as well. I feel like there might be, like, a little too niche. But we'll see. Do I want the Tron lands? Do I want, like... some of the Urza stuff? By the way, I really love Urza's Bauble. I think it's just like a fun little card. I feel like they're worth putting in. Like, they're just silly little boys. I'm, of course, going to edit down. This is not at all going to be a final copy, because I do need some basics up in this bitch as well. Some things are gonna cost wastes, potentially. So there's 20 lands here exactly. I'm gonna add a waste in case it becomes necessary to use some. Then I will severely edit my list. But if we can just get artifacts that are colorless, then, like, we won't have to worry about wastes. I don't know if I put Thespian Sage in here. Okay. All right. The only combo that I have in Traxos is colorless mana combos. So I have a lot of cost reducers, which I would like to keep as well. Like Foundry Inspector. I do like having some of these like mirror. I do like a Solemn. Okay, so I'm definitely putting Foundry Inspector. I'll put a Solemn in there. I do like Voltaic Servant or like Unwinding Clock. Untap all artifacts you control during each other player's untap step. I like that. I found that to have a lot of value. These to me are just staples because I don't want the decks to do the same thing. I want to keep Traxos, Voltron, and then ideally Ugin can be like Eldrazi. And not very you know, like equipment based. I do like Strixhaven Stadium. I like that alt kind of idea. I like all of these like Thought Vessel type, you know. I feel like some of these cards, like Sisay's Ring, don't really get a lot of use in other decks outside of this because they are like considered too expensive for like the amount of mana that they provide you. But in a colorless deck with cost reducers, it's pretty good. I like having several because if you don't get the Unwinding Clock, then at least you can do one at a time with Voltaic Key or Voltaic Servant. I think they're pretty useful. Woo. I will, of course, cut down at the end. Yes, I know Soul Ring is banned, which is kind of fun because this will be like the first deck that doesn't have Soul Ring. So the thing in Traxos is either Rings of Bright Hearth with Basalt Monolith or the Forsaken Monument. Those combo for infinite mana, and then paired with Mystic Forge, you're able to basically play everything off the top of your deck, which is a great feature in colorless decks that I think would be silly not to include if we can. So I'm gonna go ahead and try that. Mystic Forge. Come on. Hate when Moxfield Scryfall does this. Mystic Forge. Rings of Bright Hearth. So far, so good. Basalt Monolith. And Forsaken Monument. Okay, good. None of them are banned, so we're doing well so far. All right. I do like a Chroma's Memorial. I love Commander's Plate, though. It would cost 5 to equip for, since the commander that we have is not attacking himself. I like the Dreamstone. Eldrazi works really, really well with Ugin because Ugin the Ineffable, what he does is you +1 him, exile the top card of your library face down, and create a 2/2 spirit. And Eldrazi Monument, in order to keep it, you have to sack a creature on your upkeep. So Ugin kind of allows you to constantly create creatures to sack. And then when you sack those creatures, that card that you exiled face down just goes to your hand. So it's essentially like a delayed draw pretty much, but like a continuous sack outlet. So Eldrazi Monument works like beautifully in a Ugin deck. I almost wish it was like a spell that could be used as a signature spell. It's perfect in this. Sensei's Top is illegal in this? That's a bummer. Grafted War Gear. Let me check. Grafted War Gear. Oh yeah, and you can equip it for 0. That's a pretty good. Cool. Thank you. That's a good one. Let's see. What else? I'm wondering if I should put these kinds of things like Dreamstone, Elixir. Or Everflowing Chalice does get you quite a bit of mana, but it really only does so like kind of late game. Because you have to pay 2 to kick it for the extra. Hedron. I guess I can put Hedron and Sisei's Ring or something. Oh, Semblance Anvil is a good cost reducer. Okay, let's do Hedron and Sisei's Ring. Was it the archive I wanted? No, I don't remember. Yeah, Hedron. I feel like that other one, Dreamstone Hedron is a little costly. Yeah, it gives you 3, but I don't know. Maybe. Thought Vessel. I guess I'll add it and I can take it out if I want later. And I did like this Strixhaven Stadium. Alright, I think that's all I wanted to take from here. Maybe like I definitely want to put All Is Dust in. I definitely want to put in Spatial Contortion. Not of This World. I like a colorless exile piece. Alright, so All Is Dust. Spatial Contortion. Introduction to Annihilation, Not of This World. Damn it. 2 ends. Ah, come on. Can you do it too fast? Alright, I'm gonna start searching for a colorless that says exile. I feel like I need more removal pieces. There's a lot of 190 that say exile on them. Maybe I'll refine it. This says exile target, non-land permanent, so I do like that. Let's do exile target. Okay, let me go back. If you're feeling rude, you can name other planeswalkers with Pithing Needle and Phyrexian Revoker, shutting down your opponent's Oathbreakers. I do love Pithing Needle, not gonna lie. Like, there are so many people that haven't put it in anything, and it has won me some games just by, like, shutting people down. I do have Pithing Needle in Traxos. It's the only deck I have Pithing Needle in, and I've had a hard time removing it. There were times that I like sideboarded it for a while, and I just always want to put it back in. So that is actually a great idea, and I didn't realize I could do that with Planeswalkers with it, so that's awesome. Pithing Needle and Phyrexian Revoker. Let me take a look at this first, and then I will get right back to that. I do like this, but I mean, this is great, this cogwork assembler, but it's so much. Because the cost reducers that I have won't reduce the cost of like that 7. I'll still have to pay that 7. So I don't know if it's worth it. I just really love this sorcery. Introduction to Annihilation. I feel like it's so good. I kind of like a Karn. There's a lot of exile from graveyard. This exiles attacking creature and brings it back at the next end step. But then it has summy tummies. I mean, I suppose that could be useful. Especially because it's a land. I have to catch up on the chat, but I do want to just take a quick look at this before we move on. I guess Titan's presence should go in there. Oh, that's the one in my command zone, right? Never mind. We're putting an Ulamog in there for surezies. We'll get to the Eldrazi soon enough. I guess I should put a counter, but then that would require a waste, and I'm kind of trying not to do that. Okay, I have a question. If I put Underdark Rift, right? If I roll I pay 5, exile it, roll a d10, put target artifact, creature, or planeswalker into owner's library just beneath the top X cards of that library, where X is the result. Activate only as a sorcery. I can't do that to their planeswalker because they could just choose to put that in the command zone, right? Like it's not like obligatory that happens. I do kind of like the shenanigans of it, though it's only one single use, which I don't love. And I haven't decided if I wanted to put in, what was that card? Oh yeah, Pristine Talisman's good. Elixir of Immortality. I guess I could put it in for now. All right, Pithing Needle, we said. Phyrexian. Revoker. Cool. I like that. Oh, in the Pokemon community game, I forget the code to check the extension, but there is like you can check what's in your like inventory. There's like a way that you can do that. But for me as well, because I have the game, it just shows up on my main like page. I can like scroll down on my main and there's like a little box with all my Pokemon in it. Perilous Vault and Scour from Existence. Perilous Vault, Scour from Existence. Alright, so Perilous Vault, exile all non-land permanents. But that hits mine too, right? I don't know how much I love that. So I'm gonna move it to the side as like considering. Scour from existence. Exile target permanent, but that's so costly. Oh. I'll leave it in there for now because I need the removal, but... Yeah, I don't love Nev's Disc anyway. Oblivion Stone. Spark Hunter. Manticore. Okay. Cool. The colorless non-basic lands can cast. See, Adam knows. Adam knows I be doing colorless shit. This is my wheelhouse. So the colorless non-basic lands can cast Warping Wail. You don't need a waste for this specifically. You can use 2 colorless mana. Is that so? Alright, I'm caught up in the chat now, so... So, yay. I've done it. Alright, this time, Adam, if you're still here, I hope you're still here. I was, catching up. This time I will be, going an Eldrazi route, which I didn't previously go. But I do want to put Traxos in it. So, like, who am I kidding? Traxos belongs in here. But I do want to go, like, I would like to use, actually, I would like to go Annihilator. I really like Annihilator. It's so mean. And, I feel like I would get a lot of value out of it. I also feel like I need some, like, indestructible stuff, like some protection, some pillow forting. Annihilator. Wait, did I spell that wrong? Okay. Advanced search. Colorless. How in the hell Okay, 2 eyes. That's it. That's what I did wrong. Okay. Annihilator. I've done it. Okay. Like, this is fucking stupid disgusting. I love these. Like, I love these. I don't know that it's wise to put so much, like, costly stuff in here because I can't even read this. Enchanted creature gets +10, +10, and has trample and annihilator too. That's pretty dumb. Let's do it. Yeah, I don't know that it's wise to put so many like big things, because if there's a board wipe and all of my cost reducers or infinite mana get blown out of the water, then I won't be able to like cast them late game. I will be making like weenies with Ugin himself, but losing all my mana will shut me down. I'm not really playing shenanigans like graveyard stuff, so I'm Silent Arbiter I do like. I am concerned about like having only high cost things. That's great. I do like that. Oop. I meant to put that in Oracle text. I'm stuffy in one nostril, so I have to like shoot up with the nose spray that I am certain I am addicted to. I kind of love the Celebrate 1000, and I feel like it's underutilized. So it's an uncard, but it's legal. It's not Acorn. At the beginning of combat on your turn, roll 2 6-sided dice. For each result of 1, Celebrate 1000 gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. For each other result, it gains the indicated ability until the end of turn. If you roll doubles, it also gains double strike until the end of turn. So if you roll a 2, it gets Menace. If you roll a 3, it gets Vigilance. A 4, it gets Lifelink. Like, it's a fun card to see resolve, and it's like the beginning of every combat. It's just fun. So, Dark Depths, it still even though it comes in for with the 10 ice counters on it, it still taps for mana, right? Is it colorless mana? Can I use this? Milliken, Mannequin, and Palladium Mirror. I do have Palladium Mirror and Traxos. It doesn't add mana, so there's no point. I think this is hilarious. Creepy Doll. It's indestructible. Whenever Creepy Doll deals combat damage to a creature, flip a coin. If you win the flip, destroy that creature. It's fucking amazing. It's so silly. Okay, this is it. Dark Steel Forge. Artifacts you control are indestructible. That's what I was looking for. I also like a Shadow Spear just because it removes indestructible from other people, and that has won me a game before, so even though we're not super looking at like equipments, that is an equipment that's worthwhile because it doesn't even have to be equipped to anything. You could just have it out and pay 1, and permanents your opponent's control lose hexproof and indestructible. I'm kind of tempted to use the One Ring. No pun intended. I like Stuffy Doll. Yeah, but Dark Depths takes a long time to get there. So you can pay 3 to remove an ice counter and it has 10. So I'd need at least 3 turns to like remove all of the counters on it. I guess there could be a benefit to it, but it's a slow burn. All right. Let's go back. Milliken? Is that the cat? No. Something else I'm thinking of. I don't know that I want to mill something. I need everything. I'm gonna sideboard it. Mana, can Palladium mirror. Reuse. What? I hate when it just adds shit that's like not supposed to. What is this? Lightning. Reuse. Funny enough, I don't put Swiftfoot Boots and Lightning Greaves in a lot of things. I often leave them out. They are not auto-includes for me. Alright, we have 2 sorceries and 4 instants, which feels kind of like on par with what these starter decks are showing. I'm not super familiar with colorless enchantments, aside from the one that we included, so I'm gonna just take a quick search of that. And these are 60 card, right? 60 cards we gotta be at? Because we are at 77. So we're way over. We're gonna have to like make some cuts. Yeah, so there's only 3 colorless enchantments. We have Eldrazi Constriction and Urza's Saga. I'm kind of tempted to see what else makes constructs, because constructs could be very useful. The only thing is that they don't have trample, so like they could be big as fuck, but like if somebody's blocking them, then like yeah, we're removing pieces from the board, but if they're just making like tokens, they've got a lot that they could block with. So Warren Power Stone. I think we're really good with ramp, but yeah, it's costly too. It will cost 1 with Ugin out, but obviously I want to get Ugin out, so like some of these ramp pieces need to come out first. Excuse me. Shadow Spear's already in here. And yeah, I know I can search it with the Saga. Shadow Spear is the only legendary I have in Joda that's 1 mana. So when I cast a background that is 2 mana and I'm able to cascade, I usually just ask the table if it's okay if I search for Shadow Spear because it's the only one that it could cascade into. And once it's out, if I cast a 2 mana background, then I'll just fail to find and shuffle. But yeah, I'm really familiar with Shadow Spear because I run it in Joda and it has won me at least 1 game. Kalua Lua, welcome in. I'm so glad to see you here. Thank you. I love lessons. I put in Introduction to Annihilation because it exiles target non-land permanent. I do have in my Traxos deck the Scry card as well. Scry 2, then draw card. Just because card draw is nice. But I will search colorless lessons. That is a good idea. I didn't think to just search lessons. I kind of built Traxos at the time with a lot of cards that I just had on hand, and because I learned how to play during Strixhaven, I have a lot of lessons in there. Maybe I should have put lesson. Sometimes this is so sensitive. I did have expanded anatomy in there and took it out. I like vigilance. I'm gonna just add these and then I can always take them out later. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm gonna have to do so much cutting, but I'm feeling good about this. I feel like we almost have a completely other EDH deck, which is like fine. Because whenever I make decks and I make cuts, I don't often like to completely delete. I usually move things to consider, because if you leave things in sideboard, then Moxfield will still equate the price of whatever's in your sideboard. So I'll move it to consider, so that way if as I'm playing I decide that there's a card that I'm really not loving, I might swap it for something in the consideration. And I don't want to be like, oh, what was that card that I deleted and I don't remember what it is. Like, I want to leave my entire thought process as always on Moxfield. Even though it's not in the main deck, I kind of hate to just like delete. So I can always turn this into another colorless deck if I wanted to, which is kind of funny. I'm gonna look at constructs stuff. Create construct. I do want to look at the cheaper Eldrazi as well. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each attacking creature. It has trample. It's a 12/12. When Ancient Stone Idol dies, create a 6/12 Eldrazi construct artifact with trample. I feel like that's pretty useful because it can be reduced to whatever's attacking. If you control 2 or more non-land, non-token permanents with the same name as one another. No. Dollhouse of Horror sounds pretty horrifying in this deck, so that feels right. Okay, I think that's good. And then the Eldrazi is what we're looking for, right? Eldrazi. I do want big stuff. I like Nettle Cyst, but it's a germ, not really a construct. I like that the 0/0 constructs get +1/+1 for every artifact you control, and this entire deck is artifact, so it'll make it a beefy baby if I can give it trample, you know? But Nettle Cyst, it gives it +1/+1 for each. It's a germ and gives it +1/+1 for each artifact and enchantment you control. Which is great, but then once I'm trying to avoid equipments, but I guess you're right. You're right. I guess I could keep it. All right. When you cast Blight Herder, you may put 2 cards your opponents own from exile into their owner's graveyard. If you do, put 3/1/1 Scion. I don't want like the little 1/1s. I don't think I really need them. This is good because it's a cost reducer and a tutor, essentially. All creatures able to block Breaker of Armies do so. So that kind of means that if I'm attacking somebody to kill them, it kind of leaves all my other creatures open to swinging. I'm just gonna add like a lunatic and then you know, reduce down later. If I have an infinite mana, this endless one could come in really dumb big. Reveal the top card of your library. You may put that card onto the battlefield if it's a permanent card with converted mana cost 3 or less. Otherwise, put that card into your hand. Trample and Haste is good. Whenever it becomes a target of a spell an opponent controls, counter that spell unless its controller discards a card. Put 2 cards your opponent's own. Oh, I read that already. This is such strange art. Kind of love it. Your opponents can't cast spells with even mana values. Your opponents can't block with creatures with even mana values. It feels dumb and it feels like it belongs in here. I don't know why all of a sudden Scryfall is betraying me. Let's refresh this page. It's also good to make an Eldrazi deck now because once Commander Master's Eldrazi Precon comes out, the Eldrazi will get expensive. That's true. Reshaper can put lands into play. Your opponents can't even, basically. Where were we? Yeah. Your opponents can't even. Reshaper, where was it? Did I add that? Or did I oversee it? Oh, the matter reshaper. Okay, so you said it can put lands into play. It can, but it needs to die. And I don't really have a ton of stuff that's converted mana cost 3 or less. It just brings it into my hand. Am I frozen? Oh no, I think I'm frozen. Hopefully it'll reset. Can you hear me still? I see like my camera is frozen, but I'm not sure. Okay, my screen's still moving, but my camera's frozen. I don't know why. Let me try to shut it off and turn it back on. No. I do have an alternate camera, but... Okay, good. You can hear me. I'm gonna turn off, like manually turn off my camera and then turn it back on, and hopefully that fixes it. Technology, technology. Why is it still frozen? I don't understand. Maybe if I go to, like, another screen? Why must you betray me like this? I don't understand. I'm not sure why my camera screen is not working. Let's try a different... Nope, that wasn't the one. Let's try a different webcam. Okay, I've moved it to another webcam. It's not as great quality, but I don't know what happened with this other one, why it's frozen. It looks fine on my end, like on the camera itself, but it is frozen in OBS for whatever reason, so I can try to swap it one more time. It's working. We fixed it. We got there. I guess I just needed to trick it. Alright, so it's ramp for colorless, or it goes into your hand, it lives to die. Cool. I have not put in Ashnod's altar, but I will. That's a good idea. Let me... I think I've gone through all of this, so... Oh, this is a new card, I guess. It has not officially been released. This is... Zuladok, Void Gorger. Colorless spells you cast from your hand with mana value 7 or greater have Cascade. I love Cascade. Okay. Well, maybe we'll just add it for funsies. Alright. Ashnod's altar. I feel like 5 sorceries and 4 instants is pretty good. I'm definitely gonna have to. Have a good night, Vin. Thank you. Thanks for joining. I'm definitely gonna have to cut down since I am already at like the equivalent of a commander deck. I can just add like 6 more lands and I'm at a commander deck. But yeah, I'm gonna have to, oh my god, I'm gonna have to do so much discarding. 32 creatures is way too much, and I of course put like way too many Eldrazi and things like that, and my mana curve is probably super high. So I'm gonna have to edit down, but I'm horrible at editing down in the moment. I feel like I kind of need to like walk away from it and come back to it another time. But I do want to get started on a second Oathbreaker deck. I'm thinking of doing Elminster with like some scry shenanigans. So if you want to hang out and take a look at making a second deck, that might be fun. So let's do Elminster. And my signature spell, I think I'm between two. Hey, Steven, welcome in. For my signature spell, I'm between Mystic Speculation. It's a sorcery that costs 1 blue, but it has a buyback cost of 2. And so I may pay an additional 2 as I play the spell. If I do, this card, I put the card back into my hand as it resolves. So it avoids me having to put it back into the command zone, and I could just keep casting it for 1 and then paying the buyback cost to put it back into my hand. And it allows me to scry 3. The other option I was looking at was that lesson, which is scry 2, then draw a card. But it does cost 3, and I have to repay that every time. So I think really Mystic Speculation is probably the best for the command zone. And you'll see why if you're not familiar with Elminster. Also, Elminster is my first oversized giant card. I have him next to me, so he's off camera. But yeah, I've been wanting to build him for a really long time, and when I was able to acquire him as a oversized card, I've always wanted to build him. So yeah, I'm gonna need as many cost reducing or like fast, like mana ramping things as I can in this color scheme, because he's already quite expensive to cast in the first place. But he says, whenever you scry, the next instant or sorcery spell you cast this turn costs X less to cast, where X is the number of cards looked at while scrying this way. And then I can +2 to draw a card and scry 2. And then I can -3 to exile the top card of my library, create a number of 1/1 blue fairy dragon creatures with flying equal to that card's mana value. So I want to use scry to see what the fuck I'm looking at and what I'm putting on top, and then maybe what I'm willing to exile. So ideally, I'd like to exile high cost things so that I'm making lots of fairies. And I would like instants and sorceries that maybe also allow me to scry more. Well, I need a lot of instants and sorceries, period, because whenever I scry, the next instant or sorcery spell costs less, where X is the number of cards I scried. So it's a little bit involved. But Mystic Speculation scries 3, and then I can buy it back for 2 and put it in my hand and constantly cast it for 1. Preordain I like. Because I like drawing the card as well. Graven Lore is very expensive, and I like that Mystic Speculation has the buyback to put it into hand instead of going into the command zone and then paying the command tax. I will put Graven Lore in the deck, but as a signature spell, having it cost 5 already out the gate plus 2 more every time is too much. I wanted to make Elminster as a commander deck, but at the time I knew 2 people who already had, and I don't like to have like my opinion swayed on how I want to build a deck, and it was just too fresh in my mind of like how some other people already had it built. So I ended up not ever building him as a commander, though I had always wanted to. So now it's my opportunity to at least build him as a Oathbreaker deck. So as far as protection removal, I play a lot of white, so I think it would be fair for us to start with like some counter spells, some protection, you know, things like that we can kind of get out of the way. Like, I don't know what's legal in this and what's not. But my go-to is a Chroma's Will, Teferi's Protection. I like the idea of both a ghostly prison and a propaganda. I don't like a farewell. I do not like Kayla's Command's great. I feel like I played that in standard. They don't protect planeswalkers, no, but they protect all of the fairies and like the, well, it's not protection necessarily, it's they can't, yeah, they can't attack me, which is like fine, because I mean I could always recast Elminster, and I'll try to find a way to like protect Elminster as well, but I still like them. Yeah, I'd love to have ideas. I want to maximize the -3 ability to make Eldrazi, to make a lot of dragons. So I was thinking of, like, since I was putting high cost Eldrazi's in my last deck, I was thinking of like what high cost, like high mana value things that I could put in this that might really benefit me to making lots of dragons. And also because he's making dragons, I kind of like the idea of token doublers, like Mondrak. Let me see what else. Let's go to my decks, because I have so many white things. let's look at some of my white decks. I'm gonna look at Lathiel as well because she deals with tokens and there might be a lot of stuff in there. I don't think there's anything in Yoshi I might need. So, alright, in Mural. Anointed Procession is the one. That's the one with the tokens. I could probably use a land tax. Path to Exile I like. Alright. Path to Exile. Anointed Procession was the one I wanted. Are people running things like Smothering Tithe in Oathbreaker? The best card in the game, period, to exile the top is the creature Draco. Okay. That's 16. Yeah, that's perfect. What the hell? That's not what I asked for. Okay, cool. Intangible. Vitcher. Did it go? Where'd it go? Virtue. I spelled it wrong. Okay. Intangible Virtue. White Sun Zenith is good. Oath of Teferi. Am I spelling it wrong? Aminatus. There, it's OU. Dovin's Veto. I love Stormherd. I run Stormherd in like almost anything white. Just for like the fucking funsies for no reason. You know? Takacia's Welcome has been pretty good. Cathar's Crusade is great, yeah. I forgot to put Path. Let me put Path. Oh no, I did put it already. Cathar's Crusade. I will also need, like, you know, counters and things like that. Blue spells, because I'm only like super familiar with white spells. I do love Dawn Charm. I feel like it's severely underutilized. Does Panharmonicon work for planeswalkers? Like an artifact, if an artifact or creature entering the battlefield cause a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. No, right? I kind of love Legion Loyalty too. Alright, an unsung hero is also Sublime Archangel. Alright, let's take a look. But it would have to attack alone, no? I'm like... I don't want to make one thing big, I want to make a lot of little things. So I'm not sure that this is bringing me value. You're right, Mox Pickle, thank you. I forget about Approach of the Second Sun because I only have it in my alt win con deck. Let me look at this. I have to change the view. Dawn Charm I keep forgetting to put in. I like Unbreakable Formation. I should run that in more stuff. Okay. Dawn Charm. Unbreakable Formation. Alright. Let's see. What else is in here? Authority of Consuls is a great stacks piece. So is defensive formation, because instead of the attacking player, you choose how creatures attacking you deal combat damage. So wouldn't that allow me to divert the damage from my planeswalker? Defensive formation. I kind of like Divine Visitation in this as well, because instead of the fairy dragons, it makes like 1/1 fairy dragons, it makes 4/4 angels, and they have vigilance. So I feel like this has a lot of value in this. I guess I should just put like a standard counterspell now. I am gonna need some more like instants and sorceries, because I can reduce the cost of instants and sorceries by the number of cards I've scryed. That's true. Skull Clamp would be good. That's a good ad, thanks. I don't have any. I'm curious just to see. I guess I don't really need to put color identity because it'll. I'm gonna need to use Scryfall's list because I want to look up like the most costly mana creatures. Sort by mana value. I should have put Legaling Commander. Or Oathbreaker, rather. Okay. Now I'll sort by mana value. And Elminster is Yeah, it won't do X spells, so... And this starts with the lowest mana value. I want the highest. Draco's the biggest, then it's Emrakul, Blightsteel, Icebreaker, Kraken. It that betrays, Scion of Draco. And Darksteel. I actually like Darksteel because Darksteel shuffles back into the library, so it's a card that I could use again and again. Alright, so let's put in some of these biggies just so we can have some potential ways to make lots of like little... I put Draco, Emrakul, Blightsteel, and Darksteel Colossus. I'm gonna also add It That Betrays, just because I feel like some of these have like value to play anyway. I'll probably put some other like small things that are playable, but I want to really maximize being able to create the dragons if possible. So dig through time. I did put White Sun Zenith. Yeah, that's good. Do we want to look into like extra turn stuff in blue? Is that like a thing that is done in Oathbreaker, or is that too mean? I also have not added any lands, so I think like just as a placeholder, just so we know like where we are, I'm gonna add some plains and some islands. Just so we can have like a hold. Oh, crud. What's the code for this? Alt 1. Let's do just 11 of each, so we know where we're at. Yeah, see, we're already at 58, and like, I feel like I'm gonna need more creatures. Like, yes, Elminster's creating me creatures, but it's gonna take a little while. And like, do we want to consider maybe like adding some more creatures and I don't know, like adding some more creatures and adding some more cards, like higher cost instants and sorceries, or like extra turn stuff. Is there something like that would better protect my planeswalker? I do like Benny Brax in token decks. This one's pretty good. Destroy target planeswalker. That's pretty good. Destroy all non-token creatures. I'm gonna need some ramp too. We didn't do that at all. Okay, let's look at Planeswalker you control, maybe? I want to see what is... Ooh, a Sarah Ascendant.
You could find a cheaper car insurance rate, a personal loan to consolidate high-interest debt, or a new cashback credit card. Find out all the ways you could keep more money in your pocket at Experian.com/save. Results will vary. Savings offers and approvals not guaranteed or available in all
Archon of Absolution is great. Include and Archangel of Tides. If it's untapped, creatures can't attack you or planeswalker you control unless they pay 1. Same for Archon. So is Baird. It's really stacksy. Deification, I know somebody suggested that. A Sarah Ascendant. I do like comeuppance as well. Angara's great. Include. Illusion's Gambit can only be cast during the declare blocker step on an opponent's turn. Remove all attacking creatures from combat and untap them. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase. Each of those creatures attacks that combat. If able, they can't attack you or a planeswalker you control. That's pretty cool. This is so silly. When Mystic Barrier enters the battlefield or at the beginning of your upkeep, choose left or right. Each player may attack only the opponent seated nearest him or her in the last chosen direction, and the planeswalkers controlled by that player. That's hilarious. Like, I just want to include it for the lulz. It may not live there forever. I may cut it, but it just seems so funny to me. Okay, Luxior Giada's Gift? How? I mean, they, like, they can still remove it as if it were a creature, though. Like, it's subject to easier removal if it's just a creature, right? I guess it does, like, waste removal pieces, but, like, it could be a tactic, but I don't know if it's, like, enough of a tactic I want to invest in. But I'll add it for now because I don't want to forget about it. Where's my cursor? I don't know if Sarah Ascendant was the one you were thinking of. Maybe, Sarah's... Oh gosh, what is it called? Where it's in my Giada deck. Sarah's Emissary? Because I could do, like, protection from creatures, and they would have to, like, remove my Sarah's Emissary or my Elminster by something else, you know? Damn it. It added the Ascendant and not the Emissary. Also, this is so very like me, but my curve is very white. So I would like to even the curve and add a little bit more blue. Shark Typhoon does sound fun. And I do need more ramps, so let's look at artifacts as well. I have Shark Typhoon in my fish deck, the very first deck that I ever built. Did it add? Because I don't see it. I hate when it does that. It, like, adds something else, and then I don't know what the hell it added. Oh, here it is. Okay. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create an XX blue shark creature token with flying, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. Yeah, I like that. Sharknado. Safara Skyblade. I have that in something else as well. Thank you, Mox. All right, we are officially way over on all of my Oathbreaker decks, but I'm loving this. This is super fun. I clearly could easily make this an entire Elminster. Maybe I'll do both. Maybe I'll do like an Elminster EDH deck and then also cut it down for Oathbreaker. Have like a version of each. I really didn't know which direction to take it for EDH, which is like kind of cool that that we got there today. So let's do ramp pieces as well. I also kind of... I kind of want... It's not what this deck is doing, though. I'm desperate to put Vesuvian Duplimancy in, like, literally anything. I don't know that I want to get into... I'm going to sideboard this because I don't know that I want to get into playing Snowlands just for one card. I do like, oh my god, what's that card that... It's escaping me. It's in my mind. It flies, it's Azorius, and it gives you extra combat. It's... Oh my god, it's gonna kill me. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's in my Stranger Things deck. It's gonna kill me once I see it. Metamai. I knew it was something with fucking M. Metamai. I like that. Ugh, there's too many Metamais? How could it be? There's two. Yeah, Telekin. Good job. I didn't want to look at the chat because I was like, it's gonna kill me once I see it. I'm so pleased with that card. That's great. Ramp. Let's do some ramp. What can we do? I know we can do an Arcane Signet. Do we want to do an Azorius Signet? What else? What's some, like... some stuff we can stick in here that can, like, maybe cost reducers or something that helps, like, get stuff out a little faster. Preferably something blue because we've got a lot of white in here. I'm gonna take a look at this extra turns deck and this Oathbreaker deck because I have no idea what people are doing with Elminster. And this is competitive Oathbreaker. So it might help to look at the ramp in here. Felwar Stone. Mind Stone. They have a top in here. And this is an Oathbreaker deck, so I guess top's not banned. Felwar Stone and Mind Stone I didn't think of. No, it's not like... There we go. I like those extra turn spells. They went super weird with it, though. They're making lots of tokens. Like Adeline, Myrtle. Elishnorn. Elishnorn's a good idea, though. Opt is good, too. Heuristic study. I hate vehicles, though. Alright, I will add Felwar Stone for sure. And I might add a top. Just for, you know, for now. Baral. Arcane Melee. Jace's Sanctum. They only put 3 creatures in this. Snapcaster Mage might be useful. Target instant or sorcery in your graveyard gains flashback until the end of turn. Thassa's Oracle is a good, like, emergency card, I guess. Or, like, Party Jace, I feel like. Because I feel like I'm, like, worried that I might deck myself, you know? Like, if I get into too much card draw stuff. But Jace's Sanctum is in here. Isochron Scepter. They definitely have some combo in this. I do like Opt, so I think I'm gonna look at putting Opt in. Treasure Cruise is good. I often don't put it in because it's so expensive, but with the cost reducing value of Elminster, it might be a good deck to put it in. And it looks like a lot of folks are doing extra turns with this, so I think I might do that. Yeah, I think I might do that. And I'm gonna keep these open for, like, looking at lands. But there is a lot. I have to edit down. Oh my god. There's so much. I'm feeling better about it, though. I'm feeling good. This is my first build, my first try at Oathbreaker, so I think we're doing all right. I think I'm gonna go to sleep. It's 1 a.m. here. I'm gonna raid over to a couple friends. It's Shannible's birthday. I don't know if she's still playing, so let's take a look and see. I know Shannibal is was playing. Katie Karlov is playing. And a new friend of mine, Lionix, is playing as well, and they play Super Late Night Commander, which is great. I'm in an ad in Shan's channel, so I'm taking a look to see who's still playing. It looks like Katie is still playing. It's 1 a.m. I have to take a shower and I have to go to work early tomorrow. So oh. Well, maybe I won't raid tonight. It's kind of a quiet night. I guess I'll just say goodnight. Thank you everyone for all your suggestions, and I will take a look. I'll be back maybe tomorrow if I don't go to the LGS, or maybe I'll do another late night tomorrow to start cutting these down. So thanks for your help and have a good night. I will see you all very soon.